Call the Town of Oliver Springs City Council for May 15th to order. Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Here.
Jeff Bass, Charlie Bailey,
Here.
Teresa Van Hook,
Here.
Terry Holland, Nikki Devaney. We have three plus the mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Will you lead us in word of prayer?
Our Father, we come to you and kneel down before your throne of grace. We pray that we would seek your will, we would seek your face, and be able to join you in your work here on this town council and in this city and in regions surrounding our town where we can use the resources that you have given us. And we pray that you would help us to multiply these resources beyond what appears to be budgeted, what appears that we have, in such a way as where we can serve a great many people with the needs that they might have with the resources that you have made available. We pray for our servicemen and our servicewomen at home and abroad, and the people, the policemen and firemen, and all those that serve us to protect us and take care of us when we're sick. We pray that you would give them strength and peace and comfort. Go with us now as we meet tonight, and as we leave these halls, that we can serve you in this community. We ask all these things in thy Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Let's go. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 1st meeting?
Make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Van Hook. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Miller. Any discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Charlie Bailey,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
passed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Joe. Anybody from the audience like to get up and speak? Just come to the podium, say your name and your business. Update from the mayor. I don't have a lot. Mr. Braden presented tonight at the American Legion tomorrow night at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. They're having catered pork chop dinner. Donation is $12 per person. So if you'd like to come out and support our American Legion, which is on Lookout Avenue, love to have you there. Also, the senior librarian here, Ms. Jessica, we have the kickoff party on May 31st at from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock at the town library. Super excited about that. I know we have and I also saw the summer sunshine bus feeding program. That is amazing. So, so kids during the summer will have the menu on the back. It was incredible. So kids will have a place to hang out, a place to eat. And just real quick, right off the cuff, and I apologize for putting you on the spot, how many visitors have we had from the time you started till, say, the beginning of May? Don't know. I know the last time it was like 3,200, wasn't it, or something? And that was back in January. So you still tallying that?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. So we're excited to see what that year number is, because the year before it was only like 300 for the whole year, 400 for the whole year. So, all right. Last thing that I'll mention is we did our Norwood Boys Club inspection. This week, we are awaiting the results from the Roane County building inspector. So just to clarify and to understand why that's being done, was it last year, Corey, 2024, early 2024? We got a letter in the mail under threat of lawsuit. A kid fell off the playground and broke their arm. And so we submitted that claim to our insurance company. And so they wanted to know the inspection reports, they wanted to know the whole 9 yards. So we pulled the contract and saw that the Norwood Boys Club is under lease for like 99 years, $1 per month, to the town of Oliver Springs. And it's stated in the contract that a yearly inspection is to be done. So we were following the advice of our insurance company, and we started doing our yearly inspections. And so we did one last year. We gave them a list of things. And this year we did it again when Councilmember Miller brought it up a few weeks ago. And so we were just doing our due diligence, making sure that kids are safe in that building. So there's that. I'll move on to Mr. Jenkins with the city manager update.
Don't have a lot to add. We do have one new business grand opening tomorrow, Roots of Grace. It's Maria Russell having a grand opening tomorrow at 1 p.m. at 13 Edmonds Drive. So that is a hair salon grand opening tomorrow at 1. Again, the library events May 31st. You got a summer reading kickoff party from 5 to 7 p.m. And you mentioned the summer sunshine bus feeding program. That was started through the Oak Ridge school system and with the help of with Ethra. So they will be here from 11:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. That will be starting June the 2nd through June 27th, Monday through Friday. So anyone under the age of 18 can come get a free meal there. The other thing, just an update on paving contractor that's paving in Oak Ridge. As of May 14th, yesterday, they had 200,000 gallons that they'd taken from us. So right now, their bill's set at $2,124.
Are they pulling their water?
They're taking from a fire out there now.
What was the company?
PGA.
That doesn't stand for pure grain alcohol making whiskey.
I don't know that, but I know there's been a lot of complaints about that contractor. The city of Oak Ridge would not sell them water. They reached out to us. We've been selling them water since September 30th of last year. So like I said, right yesterday, they finally hit 200,000 gallons. And they're being charged $10.62 per thousand, so that would be the lowest of our what we charge our inside city rate to our customers per thousand.
So do they have a meter, Corey, because that hose is hooked direct to that hydrant, there's no meter on that hydrant.
Now, the meter, we took the meter off and the contractor was doing the demolition of the school. So they've still got that down here. So every morning, guy's name's Aaron Potter, he either sends me an email or a text about how many times they fill up, how much water they took the night before. And he's been pretty good about that. And that's all I've got. You do have a couple pictures up there where JD Asphalt's been doing a lot of the water patchwork, Winter's Gap. See, I think the front picture is Winter's Gap. That's the entrance to Carmichael Park. Park Lane. Hill Drive. And then I think you've got the pictures too of the Oliver Drive Norwood intersection too. And they've still got a list. They would have been complete, but kind of the weather this week's kind of put them behind. But they'll be in here next week, finished up on the list. That's all I've got at the moment.
Speaking of water cuts, real quick, I know we have made two pretty significant changes that maybe the public isn't aware of about if you want to have a secondary meter for just water, like water in your lawn. What are some other uses there, Corey?
The water in the lawn, we've also got the pool adjustment.
Yeah.
You do have a policy now.
That's correct.
If somebody wants to fill the pool up, they've got to kind of notify us before.
Yeah,
We'll come out and get the reading on the meter.
Correct.
And we'll be able to do a sewer adjustment.
Yeah.
On the bill.
so we will make everybody aware that there is that one-time pool adjustment this year. and also a secondary meter just for like watering your lawn, stuff of that nature. So there's no sewer rate on that. OS water is pretty cheap, OS sewer is not. So, all that being said, Mr. Miller.
I've driven around and looked at the cuts that they patched. They've done a real good job. I'm really proud, especially out on Evans. That's, for what we paid, that's a heck of a deal.
Looks good.
And, Corey, those two old houses on Mr. Fitch's property out on, coming in on Midway Drive there, on the right. Okay. Right past Quality. Right past your Traverses place there. Okay. Could you find out what the deal is on them? They've been sitting there like that now for
15 years.
several years. And 3 little houses right down from it, you can't see the houses for the weeks.
Yeah.
Are they vacant or just yards growing up?
The first one I know's got somebody living in it. Now the second and third one, I'm not for sure of, Joe.
They all used to be rented, but like you said, that first one I've seen cars at, but the second, third, it's bad.
Yeah, you can hardly see the house for the weeks.
Yeah.
So. And that's all I've got, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Ms. Bailey.
Nothing at this time.
This time, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Van Hook.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to ask, and I guess probably Chief Laxton's the one to address it, is this commercial vehicle enforcement report. You've got it here in the minutes spent on enforcement by different dates. Is that something where you're monitoring with a camera?
No, that's where we're actually monitoring with an officer that has not got any calls going. Their traffic has been noticed, has been adequate. So we've informed them that if you don't have any kind of traffic going on the boulevard, you're not finding any violators, we want you to go and see it and monitor for an actual truck to come through. And so far, that's the time that they spend at that location looking for them.
And we're having very good success in deterring people from going down. I mean, it was the state approved it, or restricted the highway, so we're just helping enforce the restriction.
That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief.
That would be the only things I have, is both of the activity reports to events, and then one thing I have is a reminder that this Saturday is our 4th annual Crafts and Car Show. We've got quite a bit of people signed up, so that's going to be from 9 to 1 Saturday if anybody wants to come out for that.
Thank you, sir. Chief Bailey is not here tonight. No old business. Corey, am I missing something on new business?
No,
You just
we just will be prepared to pass the budget at the first June meeting for the water and general fund.
We don't need another work session, correct?
No, and what I would ask is, next week I'll primarily be working on the budget in here. So if you all get time, come through here, spend a couple hours with me, let's go through everything. But the changes that we talked about during the budget workshop, that's one thing that we're working on right now. So by all means, take 2 or 3 hours, come in here and spend with me.
Do you think you're going to be able to balance that all out?
Yep. I mean, we're close now. So, yeah.
And one last real quick thing before we adjourn. I will say that I got my tax assessment appraisal in the mail just like everybody else got theirs, and obviously it's substantially higher. But I want people to understand the city of Oliver Springs has absolutely nothing to do with your assessed value, okay? That is set by the counties, Rome County, Anderson County, Morgan County, okay? The city, we have no bearing on your assessed value whatsoever, because we are getting blown up asking, how can you all do this stuff? Well, it's not us, it's the county, okay? And the counties, to my knowledge, I know Anderson is not, has Rome set their rate yet?
No.
No, I didn't think so. So we're expecting those anytime. And when they come out, then the city we will adjust our rates based on what the county says. So, and the goal, as stated by the state, is for us to be revenue neutral. So we'll see a pretty significant decrease in the assessed rate at which you are charged per $1,000. So I just want to get that on record, just so, yes, Mr.
And
Jones.
I would add that it's my understanding that the property appraisals are based upon formulas prepared by the comptroller's office in Nashville, tailored to each county. Because a $400,000 house in Anderson County on an acre lot, the same house in Knox County may be $600,000. And the comptroller's office takes into consideration the geographic differences in the various counties and even regions. So, to a certain extent, they put that data into the computer and the program calculates the value, and that's what it is. If you're not happy, there is a procedure to appeal.
Correct. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. And there is a way to appeal if you think your assessed value is incorrect, but again, that's through the county. It's not the city.
Now, there was a time frame that those appeals had to be made by,
Okay.
and that may be getting close to being over.
Okay. Was not aware of that. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
So
That's fine. You cannot say and say, I'm liable after I offered to fix it for 3 months. How did I not offer to fix it? And you called me the other day after I got you cornered, and you said you wanted to cut a deal. I'm not a deal cutter. I'm not working for free for you. That's what you said to me. Did you say it or not?
what I said, you offered to
Did you,
fix that.
did I offer to fix it?
You offered to fix it. But when I told you that I had to go get professional opinions on how to fix that road project, and the 5 people I talked to told me that needed to be built and paved, that you could not patch it.
I'm out. I'm not liable. You know what I'm talking about. Are we going to take and make this a situation or not?
Sir, it looks like you are.
I'm Scott Hickman. I own CNC Specialized Trucking, and they're going to try to file a claim to me for tearing up the road at Edmonds Drive that I offered to fix, and he would not let me fix it.
Now, that was fine. I wouldn't let you fix it.
I suspect it had to do with how you were going to fix it, maybe, what procedure you were.
Can't get in touch with him to even tell you that. That was the thing. There's no communication with this man.
I communicate with him all the time.
I've got text messages. I'll see you. I'll call you back in 5 minutes right and left.
Yeah.
If there's a thing about commercial vehicles traveling the city streets, we need to close some streets tonight. Is there a plan for UPS to have their trucks travel Hannah Drive? Yes or no?
To
No.
answer your question,
If you're asking for a formal,
let me introduce myself.
I know you're George Jones. Right?
That's right, I'm an attorney, I've practiced law 48 years in this town, born and raised here. The city streets were built based on zoning laws to carry certain weights of motor vehicles. The commercial motor vehicles that use those weights, like UPS you talked to, are within those weight limits. Dump trucks also can be within those weight limits,
And I
provided
was.
they are loaded properly. For example, a coal truck is a huge truck because coal is lighter than dirt. A large coal truck that's got 2 or 3 axles on the back can be full of coal, but yet it may be only a third full of dirt, but the weight's the same. So when your trucks are loaded with dirt and they drive over the road, there is a chance that your trucks may be too heavy. So when you talk about liability, I've litigated hundreds of lawsuits, and basically one side says somebody's responsible and the other side says they're not. And you have 2 choices. You either reach an agreement or you litigate and the judge tells you. And the judge will either rule for you or against you or rule in such a way to make both parties mad. See? And that's $10,000 or $15,000 later in attorney's fees.
That's correct.
See? So, Now, we're not in an official meeting right now.
That's right.
That troubles me
Why did you
from a
not bring
parliamentary
it up?
procedure standpoint because
Why did you not bring it up when he called for?
Does the whole city need to know about this? Because I offered for 3 months to fix it.
Well, you brought it up and there's people.
okay, you have to understand that the city has rules and regulations where we cannot necessarily authorize someone to fix something. We may have to fix it and send you the bill. You might not like it, but that's the way we operate. In other
Okay.
words, we're not a private.
Let me ask this question right
Yeah.
here. Did you communicate with me with any bills?
With any bills?
With any estimates?
No, I didn't.
Okay, now,
Until,
let me ask this question.
Okay.
Does JB's paving have an insurance certificate on file and workers' compensation?
I don't know if they did or not.
Whose responsibility is it for any contractor to work for the city of Oliver Springs? Are they supposed to have workers' comp and $1 million
It
liability
depends on the
insurance?
contract that's called for.
Okay, is JB Paving a subcontractor for the city?
I haven't seen the contract. Generally speaking, though, in order to be licensed, you have to have the proper insurance and workman's comp.
That's
So
correct.
therefore, the town's entitled to presume that JB.
Presume.
Yes,
Presume.
yes. We presumed you would have insurance and apparently you don't.
Yes, I do, and he's
Well-
got it on file.
Well, you haven't turned it into the insurance carrier.
I don't have a claim. Do you take and go get your heart surgery done and file your insurance claim to your insurance?
When, that's
Do
what my
you
staff, the
take-
doctors do all that. Now, what I'm saying
Okay,
is.
on your car insurance,
You've got
do you
notice of the
take and
claim
go
now.
get your car repaired?
You got notice of the claim now, turn it into the insurance carrier. And by the way, from a legal standpoint, when you got wind of it, you're supposed to notify your carrier because your carrier.
I did not get wind of it because he would not tell me nothing.
We've talked about it down here off and on for a month.
Did he notify me anybody that I was involved in it?
We met the day that it happened. And I
Yes.
told you how to remedy the situation.
You told me to finish hauling and everything and we'd look at it. And I said I would fix it. I said I'd fix it for 3 months and you would not allow me to fix it.
Your fixing it and our fixing it is different. I can't allow
Did you give me any
somebody.
standards to
So let me offer you this thought. You can't fix it. If you want to fix it, you got to put in the specifications
of what it needs, right?
of what the zoning requires.
Did he give me that?
It's up to
Did
you,
he get
it's up
that?
to you to explore it.
I asked him
You're
what he
putting the
wanted.
burden on him, and I'm putting the burden on you to come down here and take care of it. When they met.
Did I not offer to fix it for
When
3
they
months?
met and had damage to the road, that's notice to you, and you should turn that.
Okay,
into
is the road even up to standards to begin with?
The road was built in the 60s before it was annexed and before Anderson County and Oliver Springs had zoning. Whatever standards it was built to,
When is the last time a city street got paved in the city of Oliver Springs?
Last year, this year. It was, right in front of the academy.
How many years?
we don't pave all the city streets every year. Our
One
paving,
street in 60 years?
back 15 years ago, Ed Kelly and the council.
Let me get back to
$200,000.
Let's just make this all real easy.
Yeah.
If you file an insurance claim against me, I will have a lawyer present at the next meeting.
We cannot file an insurance claim against you, against your insurance company. We claim it to you. Your
I'm
insurance.
not paying it. For one reason of it is, I would not allow Jake, if it was my money, I should choose my contractor that meets your standards, correct?
Let me finish. Your insurance is to protect you. So we file a claim, you're responsible primarily if a court rules you're responsible. And then your insurance company decides based on the contract whether it is going to cover the
Okay?
loss.
Did anybody take any pictures of Kingston Avenue before total demolition started? Are they gonna pave all it?
We have monitored that, and the road at Kingston Avenue, to my knowledge, has not been damaged. In fact, at the last council meeting, there was discussion.
Did anybody
that-
have monitored mine? It was
Well,
not,
well, let
was
you
it
know
damaged
they finished
before?
about Kingston Avenue. They went up and down Kingston Avenue, and that company even cleaned up the debris that blew out of the back of the truck.
Well, I will say this, there was guidelines set in place that had they damaged the road, they were responsible. There was guidelines set in place.
When did
Just
that-
like,
okay.
time out, I'm speaking. Just like when Blaylock, construction took dirt from the General Dollar, or the Dollar General, and took it over to the Bradshaw family. they had a prearranged agreement with the city to only fill their trucks 2/3 of the way full, therefore not to damage the road.
Okay.
Okay, now hang on a second. When that project that you were doing was done, there was no prearranged, just like there was nothing. And then all of a sudden, 150 truckloads later, a tandem axle crammed to the sky, 80, 90,000 pounds. You
That
saw,
was not 80, 90,000.
you saw what was, you saw what was happening to the road. It wasn't that way before, Scott.
Okay, I'm gonna take and do this right now. If I am not liable for that road. But now, since you throwed it out there, no log trucks travel that road, no fuel deliveries. You gonna let every truck that travels on any city street? So your business is out.
You
Get your log
can't,
truck
you
out there.
can't say
I
that,
am
because
not.
you can say that as a citizen, but he
is throwing me under the bridge. I offered to fix it, he never did give me no requirements of nothing. The city truck went through there 50 times, did not ever ask us, hey, will you get a plan in place for this? They just kept it driving by. How are we supposed to know what goes on there?
Let me give you
Because there's
an example. If I'm driving down the road and run into my car, you don't take my car and take it to the garage and fix it. I take my car and take it to the garage and get an estimate or bill and send it to you, and you send it to your insurance company. Same principle here.
That's exactly the same. Did he do that? No.
Not yet, but we have.
It's already, work's already done.
That's right, we had to get it fixed because the insurance company pays after the car's fixed.
Okay, why didn't they fix it in September of last year? How come it took 9 months?
You have heard of weather and supplies preventing, you can't pave in the winter.
I tried to September, the plants do not shut down to December 1st.
You're assuming you have the right to repair it on your terms. You can assume that, but you have the obligation to pay for the repairs on our terms.
Sir, I don't
No.
like your tone and your attitude.
Well, the thing about
You
it
don't-
is,
Look,
I'm done.
you, good.
Thank you.
I'm done,
Thank
because
you.
this is a joke.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, you're the world's worst out of it.
Thank you for the compliment. I'll wear that with honor.
Right.
Because I struck a nerve. You would not have been saying that unless I struck a nerve.
No, the thing about it is you're a joke of this whole city council. You still got that on? Oh, mate, that's good. Because this is a joke. That is the worst joke. When he takes, and I called in his office, and the one time I got him cornered to ask about it, he asked me about, hey, we got this sewer job out here on Highway 61. If you bring me another bid, I'll be sure you get it. So we need to take and look at some of his bids that he gets in with all his other subcontractors. How legit are they? Does JB does county roads? No, they don't. They do driveways. So do they meet that standard spec of what you're talking about of the zoning?
Excuse me, Mr. Hickman, are you a resident of Oliver Springs?
No, I am not. I'm
And that's not
glad.
any of your problem, is it?
No, but it's their taxpayer cost. And by the way, I'm the one who brought to everybody's attention about the paid grade money. You will not get your paid grade money from them. They're 9 months behind. Vulcan Materials has him cut off from getting material because they cannot pay their bills.
Thank you for sharing the information.
Brings Red Board meeting to order. Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Here.
Jeff Bass, Charlie Bates,
Here.
Chris Van Hook,
Here.
Terry Holland, Becky Bain. We have a quorum, we have 3 out of 6.
City manager.
No comment.
Mayor's comments real quick. Since becoming mayor, I have made it a point to work with Chief Laxton about doing underage checks. And I'll say, like I've said every other time, I'm 46, I've never had to drink alcohol, nor will I ever drink alcohol. And that's okay. I'm not opposed to it. You can do whatever you want to do. However, we're going to do it legally here in our town. As long as I'm mayor, we will continue to do these underage checks, and we will find those who break the law, and we will hold them accountable. So, all that being said, here you go. Chief.
What I bring before you all tonight, based on what the mayor said, we done a compliance check on April 24th of this year. In doing those compliance checks, we had 11 businesses. We went to go to every single business that sells either alcohol on premise or off premise. Difference between off premise and on premise is serving drink by drink. Off premise is like your convenience stores that sells it, you take it home. Out of all 11 compliance checks, only one sold to a minor. At that time, we came on scene, we cited the person that sold to us, and we also notified the business owner. The business owner is Jose Alla with Fiesta Chara. He's here tonight. After we cited him, we met with him later to present him with recommendation to be at this meeting. He is in attendance tonight. We also advised him to get with ASAP, who has always worked with our violators in the past. I don't know if you want to speak to her first or if you'd like to hear from Jose, but that's basically what we have for you now. I gave you a copy of our ordinance for violations on beer, and we're bringing it before you that we have found a violation in our town.
You have something for the minutes about this guy's name and address and so on?
Yes.
Can I keep it, or is it?
I can make you copies later if you want me to.
Here's a question, Chief.
Yes, sir.
How's that go with the liquor license?
I have no idea. The only obligation we have is to notify ABC. ABC has been made aware of this. They had the agent for Anderson County call me, and they said that they understood and would like to know the results of this meeting. However, that does not affect, I guess, their way of going, but they will definitely look at compliance issues in the future of their own. So I would say that it will definitely, if they're in the area doing compliance checks, that will be one of the locations they try.
Mr. Miller, do you have anything to?
I'd like to hear from you and wait for me to say.
I'll move to the next one.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. I'm Savannah Mead. I'm a prevention coordinator at ASAP of Anderson. I will say the same day that Chief Laxton reached out to me was the same day that Jose reached out to me to get started on responsible alcohol sales classes. We offer these classes for on-premise and off-premise vendors. We got 4 people immediately signed up, not immediately, got 4 people signed up after I got back in town to be on those courses. The last time I checked, they have not completed those courses, but they just got them this week. So it might take a little while, but as soon as they get that, they will get their certification of completion when they're done with that. I feel like I had something else for you all that I don't recall. Oh, and Jose expressed to me that he is looking to get TABC servers certified. We don't do that at ASAP, so I'm working with him to try to find a source for that. And then about TABC, I don't know off the top of my head if they have to do another compliance check to do something. I know if they did a compliance check and somebody failed, they would have their own kind of circumstances and punishments that they would do. And then as a beer board, you all would also be able to put anything else on top of that if they also sold beer. So I know that they allow both entities to do their own kind of process, but I don't know if that works the other way where you all find something, they get to do their own process, but I can find that out for you all.
Explain TABC.
Tennessee Alcohol Beverage Commission. So anyone who sells liquor in the state of Tennessee, either off-premise or on-premise, they have to get their liquor permit through them, whereas you all are the governing board for anyone who sells beer, wine, or high-gravity beer in Oliver Springs. So you all can cover everything that's like roughly below 20% alcohol. Anything over that, that goes to TABC. And so that would be, and they can work in tandem.
So when he was cited before, did his employees complete the training?
Ooh, I would have to double check that. Is this a cited before, like in a previous citation? Like a previous
Last year, yeah.
I think so. I'd have to check. I was not in charge of responsible alcohol sales at that time, but I can check really quick for you. See, it's possible that they completed our responsible vendor program, which is different than our online responsible alcohol sales program. Our responsible alcohol sales program is still very great and things like that. And if they're a responsible vendor, then that puts them into a system with kind of a state. I would need to double check because I was not doing those classes at that time.
So the 4 people that you say are taking classes, are they his employees now?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. Yes.
All 4 of the people are employed?
Yes. Yes.
So none of them have their ABC cards
That is not through us. So that is, responsible alcohol sales is strictly for the beer wine. It is not for the liquor. And so that is, well, we don't have any say in that. That's a TABC thing. So if they were requested to have their TABC cards or any sort of server permits or anything like that shown, they do have to have those on the premises, but that would be part of, if you all looked at or asked for them, they'd have to show them, or if TABC looked for asked for them, they have to show them. But I am not aware of anything that they had prior to that in the TABC world, because that's not our purview.
So is there any kind of a permit that any server in the state of Tennessee would have to serve beer, or just simple beer, or mixed drinks or whatever?
So for on-premise with things like bartending or serving drinks, there is some, I'm gonna have to think off the top of my head. In terms of selling, well, I guess it's not systematic, so that's not what we're talking about. Yes, but there are certain trainings that they can go to. They don't have to go through us to get that.
But let's say I go to Aubrey's and I order a beer.
Mhm.
And is my server
Mhm.
going to have to, my server have a permit to serve me that beer?
I can double check for you. What I think they would have to have the permit for is that somebody made you a liquor-based drink. So if it's the liquor-based, but I can double check that for you, make sure I'm being correct on the information I'm giving you all.
I think the servers have to go over 21 to have.
That is true.
They do have to be over 21, but I'm just trying to understand how much training does the average server have
Yep.
as to serving alcohol of any sort?
So that's up to pretty much the organization or the business. The business understands that they are liable as a business, and the individual who serves is liable as a server. If they choose to become part of the responsible vendor program, the employees who are part of the responsible vendor and the managers who are the managers on duty, and also just managers in general, they do have to come and take a class where they get taught all of that.
Wait.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in terms of serving just beer,
I don't know,
because I think it's all liquor based.
Okay, does his business serve just beer and wine maybe?
Oh, he serves liquor.
That's what.
Oh, he serves liquor, okay, okay.
I imagine, yes. And he might be able to speak to more of what his servers or what his business people already have in terms of permits or things like that, or trainings. Again, I'm gonna go look up right now if that is what's required for anyone to just serve, but things like bartenders, you know, the ABC license, things like that, they have to have that for their liquor serves.
Because I know if you're sitting down to eat and you order a mixed drink, it comes from the bar.
And so technically the waiter is not the person who prepared that for you, they're just bringing it to you. So that's why I'm kind of unclear if they need anything in terms of like, because not every waiter ever is going to go and do something like that. So I'll have to double check, because I think it is up to the business owner to do
We just
that.
want to be clear on what the responsibilities of a server as compared to, you know, if he's serving mixed drinks, then he's probably got a bartender, right?
But it is on the server to be doing the age verification and the ID checking. Again, it can be policies in place for any sort of business that if they want to make sure that any server who is, you know, not TABC certified, they're not a bartender, they don't have their bartending license, maybe they have to take the ID to a manager, and that's well within their rights to be able to do. A lot of places have their own internal policy on how they do checking in terms of who gets to see it, how that gets documented, do they write it down, do they scan it? Restaurants don't often do that, but some do. Or if they have to take it to a second point of
Don't
contact.
they have scanners now that they can actually scan the ID?
Yeah, they can. Some places do, some places don't. I don't know how expensive those are. Because I know some places, especially like smaller places, they'll just have their employees write it down or something like that, and that way they have a record that they did check and what it said. But some places don't do that at all. That's a store policy up to them on their end. We have recommendations that we have for people who are in our responsible vendor program, but even the responsible vendors, it does not have like a requirement of that for what their store policy is. They just have to make sure that they are checking the ID of everyone who, I believe, looks under the age of 40. It might just be checking everyone now. A lot of store places just have their store policy be they check everybody. So,
Thank you, you've been very helpful.
and I'm gonna go look that up for you and make sure that I'm not saying something incorrect.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
guess we should hear from
Yes.
the owner.
Look,
Hello.
well, to start off on this incident, there's actually really no excuse at all. The server who had served that drink, matter of fact, and coincidentally, 2 days prior to that happening, I gathered all of them and I told them, you know what, since he doesn't, so a little bit is to her question. So anybody who has a TBAC license is actually any mixologist, which is a bartender. So a server is not required to have it as long as he's not going behind and making the mixed drink. A server is not required to have it. It's good for them to have it because it covers a lot of bases. Matter of fact, things like what we're going through right now, say, I don't know, license revoked or charges or anything like that, because they are trained people and they are a trained server with a license, that would actually make them part liable for whatever fine that is included. The fact that on my behalf, this server has been working for me for like, I guess the best part of a week and a half. I never got him to do it. So technically, whatever happens today is on me because I didn't push him to get it fast. Like I said, there is no excuse. He did check the ID. And like I said, 2 days prior, I told him, if I can't do the math fast in your head, just tell me. We also have by the cash register, the one that tells the day before sale date. And why he failed to look at that, I'm not sure. I just know that I was in the kitchen when the officer was walking in, and as soon as I saw the server pour the beers, nothing needed to be said. I just looked at the officer and I'm like, you got him? And he's like, yep. I'm like, no. And I looked at him and I told him, bro, we literally just talked about this 2 days ago. I'm like, I did, I checked it, it was 2004. I'm like, but the date? And he was what, I think like 2 days or 3 days away. And so, you know, it's like I said, this is I'm fully accountable for it because, like I said, I should have pushed it harder. Matter of fact, 4 people that I submitted to Miss Savannah for the license, some of them are not even servers. They're actually bus boys. I'm going to cover everything this time, and I'm going to get everybody qualified for it. The TBAC license, that's not as easy to get. I mean, that's a little bit more harder, different qualifications. There's just a lot more to it than that.
But you have to have at least one person.
Oh, no. And actually in the message that I sent her, when I was telling her I was trying to get a TBAC license, so I got mine personally. I have to have it. Otherwise, I couldn't have a liquor license. Because you have to have at least one person licensed to serve a mixed drink. It was actually because I have another server there he's been with me for a while, and I want to try to help him get a TBAC license. But like I said, the process is a lot different than what ASAP standards and stuff like that. So that one just takes a little bit more time.
So all of your bartenders have to have that?
So any
Or do they work under yours?
So no. So technically, anything that has to do with liquor, I make. Anything that has to do because we have a lot of various drinks like the micheladas, the Bloody Marys, stuff like that. Those actually are not involved with any kind of spare or liquor like tequila or vodka or anything like that. That's just actually beer based. Anything that has to do with anything else like a cranberry vodka, stuff like that. Even though it's a 2-step process, 2 ounces of that, I still have to be the one that make it. Just because actually ABC did reach out to me already, and so it's kind of it's a party foul. That's how they say it, and it's very frowned upon. Especially like I said, I'm not saying that the beer is any less, but to get a liquor license, it's not easy. It's not easy, and it requires a lot of time. I mean, I've been fighting liquor license for like 2 years. It's so this right now, even though it wasn't a liquor violation, whatever you guys decide reflects on what they will say. So like, let's say y'all go with, okay, you know what, I think suspension of license is due. Then if they get that, then that means they'll do the same thing that you guys are doing. And so like in any business, I don't want that to happen, but like I said, it's what 20%, 50% sales, comes from that, if not best. It's just one of those things. But like I said, it was totally on me. I should have had him a little bit more I guess advice or taking care of, you know.
So none of your employees have ABC cards?
Not ABC, no sir.
What kind of cards do you have?
So the ones that were, the ones I'm getting for all of them right now, it's actually the ASAP, through ASAP. Like I said, the ABC license, that's a lot harder to get. And not everybody actually qualifies for it. I mean, it's,
So do you have four, a total of 4 employees? Because you have 4 people in the class, right?
no, so like I said, out of those 4 employees, actually 2 of them are only servers. The other 2, they're actually food runners slash bus boy, bus girl. But I'm gonna go ahead and get them to get their license too, just in case we ever fall into the fact that, you know, a server can always tell the busboy, hey, can you run this beer over to whatever table? And let's say that busboy goes and take a drink order from anybody, and they don't ID, then, you know, then they know that they should have known better.
So do you have more than 2 servers now?
Well, no. I mean, officially, there's only 2 servers.
That's what you have right now in your
Yes,
restaurant?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So basically, your 2 servers are getting this certification?
Yes, ma'am. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get 4, because I'm gonna go ahead and get the other 2 qualified too.
Right. So you have 4 people working for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Working in the restaurant?
And the
Within
diner
the
part, and the
restaurant.
outside, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I know when this happened last year, you said you were gonna get the scanners.
Well, so with the scanner, I mean, it's just, to me, honestly, I did a little bit of research on it, and I don't know, like, the price of them, to me, is just not worth for what it does. I mean, I don't want to say it's not worth it, because look where I'm at right now, but at the same time, you know, like paying, you know, $1,200, $1,300 for machines that are the servers always going to use, unless I make the servers pay for it, and then maybe they'll say like, well, you use it because we paid for it. But, you know, it's against law, I can't make them buy it. And so by regulations, you know, we are to at least have, whether it be digital form or whether it be in any kind of form of under 21 drinking policy. And like I said, we have that digital one. I mean, it's plain as day. All you have to do is look at it. You don't even have to push nothing in. It tells you. And it automatically changes with the day. So that's actually one of the most, I guess, upsetting part of it is the fact that all they had to do was just actually look over it right there. And, you know, they failed to do that.
So here's what I would say, like, just from my perspective, and number one, I really appreciate you coming in here and taking responsibility, okay? I think we were all here the last time whenever another business in town did not take responsibility, and I absolutely blew the top off of it. I mean, I just came off the hinges, right? I mean, because, like, here's the deal. Choices have consequences, right? And that person decided not to take responsibility for their choices. And I'm just not that guy. So I'm a business owner, right? You're a business owner. Your business brings very good sales tax revenue to this town. It just does, okay? And I want that to continue. You know, the next goal to try to help your business is, I've been talking to Senator Ken Yeager about getting the media removed, right? I think that would help you tremendously.
Yes.
But now here's the deal, okay? This is the second or third time you've stood before us. I don't want this to continue to be a problem, okay? Because I promise you the next time this happens, it's going to be the death penalty. I promise. There's no any different buts about it. So I want you to understand the severity of this mayor takes it very serious. But I also want you to be successful. Just like I want my business to be successful. Anybody else in here that owns a business, I want them to be successful. Because their success breeds success for this town. Okay? So you do what you need to do to get your people in line, because the leaders lead, right? And you're the leader of that business. Leaders lead. Get them in order.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we applied actually, well, we call it the Food City law, but it's just Food City. We've been going there for years, and it doesn't matter if AJ that knows me for the past 5 years, I get ID'd every single time. And I even we joke about it now, where it's like, dude, my year's not changing, you know. And but so now I've actually told my guys now, like, I don't care if it's, and I'm just naming random names, you know, whether it be a Murray, whether it be a Smith, whether it be a Johnson, you ID. I don't care who it is. And if it's like, oh, we know the owner, we know who's, it doesn't matter. Everybody gets ID'd. And the thing is, ironically enough, on Sunday, I actually thought that there was another test going, because actually a young girl who actually I do know, she came in, she told the server she doesn't have her ID, And I'm like, oh, God, like I do know her. And I was there for her 21st birthday, so I know but I'm like, do you not have it on, like even a picture on your phone? She's like, I don't. I'm like, I can't. And like, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna leave. I'm like, I understand. I'm like, but you gotta understand what I just went through a few days ago, and I just can't risk it,
For sure.
But yes, we have applied officially. It's going to be called the Food City Law now, and so everybody will be ID'd regardless of age or anything. Anybody's going to get ID'd, and everybody. And in response to the question, I believe she had asked her when we had an incident last year, the server who did get fined with it, he did go. I went with him to get his license. He no longer works with me, but he did get his license.
So,
You realize it puts us in a really hard spot.
No, absolutely. No, I understand. Yes, ma'am.
This is my least favorite part of being on council, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I understand.
It's my least favorite part.
Yes, ma'am.
Because first of all, I don't drink. First of all,
Right.
I'm like the mayor. We're teetotalers over here.
Well, and that's what makes it difficult in my perspective. I mean, I'm not a drinker. And so to be working behind a bar and people ask me for recommendations, it's like, I'm getting Google and I'm just asking for recommendations of drinks. And I just ask them, what do you like? And they'll say, oh, well, I like something sweet and tangy. Okay, Google, something sweet and tangy. And, sometimes I have the recipes to make, sometimes I don't. But like I said, that's what makes it hard too. But I also know from a business perspective that liquor, beer, anything, it's like, Food City, gas stations, it is a very, it helps the
Profitable
business.
adventure.
Yes.
Well, when I used the example a few minutes ago of me going to Aubrey's ordering a beer, I'm thinking there's anybody who said,
Well, I was going to ask you what kind did you order, so I didn't know.
if I did that, anybody in there who knew me would be going, oh my God, what's going on? No, I'm gonna have to make a motion seriously to fine you. We cannot have this going on in our town. It just can't go on. I appreciate your business. I appreciate that you're hardworking and that we need more businesses in town. And it bothers me to have to do it, but we cannot have this. And I'm gonna make the motion that we have a $1,500 fine. Because this is not the first time you've been here, as the mayor pointed out, and which I remember. So I'm sorry, but I'm making the motion that we have a $1,500 fine.
Motion, do we have a second? I'm gonna ask for suspension, but I'll second the 1,500.
okay. Thank you, Robert.
I will say, don't come back. I don't want to see you back in here
No.
because it will not be pretty.
No.
I have 2 teenage grandsons and one who will be a teenager in July. In July, he will be 13. I don't want to call. With 3 teenagers do dumb things. And I don't want that to happen, and I don't want it to happen to anybody else's child.
Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Charlie Bailey,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hunt.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
please don't come back.
Yes. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Uh,